Hi everyone, so now we're going into another Arcane deep dive. Now, this time we're actually going to look at the number of crystals that were in the first 3 episodes. Because actually, there seems to be kind of an odd situation with the number of crystals that are actually there. And you almost think, wait a minute, haven't some like gone missing or something? So let's kind of look at this situation very carefully. So first of all, you see in episode 1, there are 6 crystals. 3 over there, and 2 down there, and 1 up there. So there are 6. No problem there, 6 crystals. And you might ask yourself, well, did she get them all? And yes, she did. You see the scene very clearly that Powder actually picks up all 6 crystals in the box. So at this point, there are 6 crystals, and Powder has these 6 crystals. Of course, what we know from episode 1 is that one falls out. And that one that falls out ends up blowing up and putting everything in motion throughout the rest of the entire series. In fact, if this thing hadn't happened, then there'd be a lot of less pain and suffering. But, so now what we're left is with 5. 5 crystals are left in Powder's hands. Now, the last time we actually see her take any of the crystals out is here. So when she's actually showing them to Vi in episode 1 towards the very end. And in this case, she's only showing 3 crystals. So you're like, okay, well, something may have happened to 2 crystals. Or something like, along the way. Maybe they'd fallen out of her pocket and fallen into the water or something. I mean, there's always that possibility when she ran away from the fight. But we see towards the end of episode 3, there's at least 4 crystals. Oh, 4 crystals. And one of them rolls off in the corner. So this is an interesting scene here because if you remember the scene in episode 1, and also of course flashback in episode 2, is one crystal kind of falls down, rolls, hits the wall, and blows up. And here, the crystals fall onto the floor. 2 of them kind of hit each other a little bit. There's a little bit of sparkling. And then the 4th one just rolls off the screen. We don't know what happens to that one. And so you're basically left with 4 crystals. And the 5th crystal, we don't know. So you could kind of think about this from one perspective. It's like, now, wouldn't it make sense for Powder to test, her bomb, so to speak, to make sure that it works? I mean, that would be the smart thing to do. But, of course, if you remembered, she was not exactly completely mentally stable. She was actually having a panic attack in this particular situation. So she could have easily remembered that, hey, there was an explosion here, not a problem. This thing should probably be able to get the job done, so to speak. So that's what we're with. But the thing is, if you look carefully in what she was doing, she puts 2 crystals in the body of the monkey. Okay? And then she puts 1 crystal in front of the monkey. So we've used 3 crystals. Okay, so that means that if, for example, for some odd reason, there was a 5th crystal that kind of disappeared when Vi and Powder were running away from the basically criminal element in the first episode, probably fell into the water or something, we would have 4. But this still doesn't count for, like, there's 1 crystal somewhere, most likely in the room where Powder and Vi had slept. It probably rolled off in a corner somewhere and exists for someone to find it sometime later. Now, we all know that basically throughout the rest of the series, that crystal never pops up anywhere, but it still kind of makes you think. Because, after all, there's still at least 1 or 2 crystals just kind of there somewhere. Maybe to explode once more in season 2. Well, we don't know, but at least that's something for everyone to think about. So remember, when you are, of course, writing your own short story or play or anything like that, make sure that you keep careful track of where different numbers of items are. Otherwise, you will get a situation where we think, now wait a minute, initially there were 6 crystals. We definitely lost 1 crystal, so that's 5. But how do we go from 5 to 4? And then from 4 to 2 and 1? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So just keep track of that, and won't avoid videos like this. Well, see you next time, and enjoy your day. Bye bye.